Welcome back to Diving into Watches. When it comes to the world of GMT watches, there are a lot of options out there, but not a lot of options are extremely as affordable as like the Seiko SSK03, SSK003, which is one of the ones I have. We did a review on, or the Citizen Eco Drive Titanium GMT, or the Glycine over my left shoulder here, the Glycine GMT that we're going to be doing a review on today. It used to be that when you wanted a true GMT or even a GMT at all, if it was a sub 1000 GMT, it was going to be a quartz movement. It was the only way they were going to make it that affordable. But anything that was a true automatic GMT, it was going to be well over 1,000 to 1,500 minimum to get into it. And then it would more than likely be what they call a office or collar GMT, which is, I talked about this in another video on how to tell. It was in my Eco Drive Citizen, and I'll link that review down below. But there's two types of GMTs. There's the office or collar GMT, where it obviously tracks the local time zone, and then whatever time zone you want to track by using the GMT hand. And you just simply set it by you unscrew it, you pull it out to that first notch, which is your date window. One way it changes the date. The next day it moves the GMT hand to the desired time. And then when you get to wherever it is you want to, you have to reset. You have to pull the hand all the way and move both hands to set the time to the local time. It is easier to set, and that does not move the GMT hand. Then there's the one they call the Traveler's GMT or True GMT, which is you will uh, use the dial to set the GMT hand to where you want, and then when you get to your desired destination, when you pull your hand out to set, you're not going to move both hands to move to the current destination. All you have to move is the hour hand to move to that time zone. So you're not moving both hands, and it's much more true to setting a GMT. There's pros and cons to both, and I'm not going to go into both of those, but we're going to talk about another GMT watch, and this one is the Glycine Combat Sub GL0318, which a buddy of mine, a good buddy of mine, was in the army with me, deployed to Afghanistan with me, bought. He wanted to get a nice Swiss watch, but he didn't want to pay the Swiss prices, and he really liked the GMT, but didn't want to go the route of the Seiko. He wanted to step up a little bit more, so he bought a Glycine GMT Combat Sport, and that's what we're going to be viewing today. Is he loaned it to me to take a look at. It is a very, very nice watch. As you know, we did a review on a Glycine Combat Sub, and really like it because you're getting a Swiss build and a Swiss movement without paying those exorbitant Swiss prices. I'm not going to go into the whole history and the horology of Glycine. I did cover that in the Combat Sub video. You can go check that one out. But Invicta did buy Glycine, and everybody was concerned about Invicta owning Glycine and what that would hold for the watch. Would Invicta change it? Because you know anything about Invicta watches, they can be gaudy and huge and obnoxious and way out there. And then they make some decent ones. But Glycine did not. I'm sorry, Invicta did not do that with Glycine. They kept their hands off of Glycine, and they're basically just providing marketing and funding for Glycine to grow and expand that product line. There have been some complaints or concerns that I've read about Glycines in the stem and the movement, that the stem will break, or the screw down will not correctly go on tight or cross threads. I have not experienced that one with mine, and my buddy has not experienced that with his, I don't believe. But that's neither here nor there. We're just going to go over and take to the bench, and we're just going to take an in-depth look at. We're going to look at the dimensions. We're going to look at the movement. We're going to look at the pros and cons of this particular watch, and then we'll wrap it up by taking a wrist shot, and we'll take a look at the loom, and then we will give you our final thoughts. So without further ado, let's go over to the bench and let's take a look at the Combat Sport by Glycine GMT. All right, here we go, folks. Here is the Glycine Combat Sub GL0318 in all its gloriness. This is a bronze cased version of the GMT. You can get the Glycine GMT in different cases. This one is in bronze, and you can already see it's really starting to patina. It's a little cold on my hands. It's actually rather cold here in Arizona, so this one's been sitting in the cold in the house, and you can really feel it in the metal, which is kind of funny. Before we get into the in-depths on the watch here, let's go ahead and knock out the dimensions. This watch is 42 millimeters case width. It is a lug width of 22 millimeters, so it is a strap monster. You can definitely put a lot of straps on this, no problem. The lug to lug is 49 millimeters, and the case width is 11.8 millimeters, and you've got a 7 millimeter crown that is logoed with the Glycine crown logo on it. The watch itself is a unidirectional bezel, 120 click in either direction, and that is so that you can set this up if you wanted to track. You wanted to set your GMT to track a different direction, a different way. You can. It is a sapphire glass AR coated watch. It is 200 meters. Your hands are your typical sword style. This is almost like a modified Mercedes style right here with the without the Mercedes symbols on it, and then you have the hour hander with a little stop. I forgot stoplight square symbol on it, and then the GMT hand is in red, and then the date window is in red. I'm sorry, the date window, the numbering is in white on a red on a white background, and then you have your GMT bezel around here. A lot of the GMT bezels are always two-tone, and I've had many questions. People ask me why the bezels are two-toned. That's because the upper part typically references your nighttime hours, and then this would be your daytime hours, 6 through 1800. And then people say, well, yeah, but 4 o'clock is daytime. It is 4 o'clock in the morning, but typically it's not light at 4 o'clock in the morning. But sorry about that. Kick the old camera there. But that is what usually the two-tone references. One is a day and one is a night. When looking at the watch, you have a railroad track around the inside for the minute markers with minute indices minute marks in between the indices. The indices are applied. There is a superluminova applied coloring for the glow on it, and then the Glycine Combat Sub and GMT are printed on it, and the minute track around the inside is also printed. You have a Cyclops window with the date on it, and then on the back you have a screw down case back, exhibition case back, so you can get a good look at that Glycine watch. It gives you Glycine, it gives you the model number, bronze case, steel back, automatic sapphire, and then 20 atmospheres, which is 200 meters, and then it gives you the serial number of the watch. This watch also has quick release bars on it, which is very nice, so you can definitely change this out too if you wanted to put on a rubber strap or a different colored strap. I mean, with this bronze, you could go blue straps, green straps, red straps. You could do just a ton of different straps on this one, and it's going to look very, very well. Glycine does have a nice strap that comes on it. This is kind of a suede, if that's the right word I'm using, kind of a suede leather. You can see it's well worn. This watch gets a lot of use. He really likes this watch a lot. The band is done with Glycine marking there, Glycine on the clasp or the buckle, and then the inside is also marked genuine leather, and it is also marked the Glycine logo and the crown symbol also. The screw down is your typical screw down. Unscrew it, set it to the date, and then the other direction will set the GMT hand, and then you pull all the way out to set the time, and then screw it back in, typical screw down time. This one has the screw downs a little bit tight. I might have my buddy have that take a look at that. I just noticed that the screw down is just a little tight. Not a big issue, but it's a little tighter than I would like him to see him. I'm not quite sure what that is. And maybe that's what people are talking about, some of the issues they see with Glycine. But he did get this one through Joma Shop, and Joma Shop does have a 2-year warranty. It is not a factory warranty from Glycine. It is a Joma Shop warranty. You have to go back through Joma Shop for your warranty, but they honor their warranties. They're very, very solid. Joma Shop would not be around as long as they have. If they did not honor their watches, you just got to go through their processes, but it's no big deal. They either repair it or they replace it. So you can't go wrong there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lume and see what the lume is. Now, I have people ask me also too, why don't the bronze watches have this in bronze also? And that's very simple. You know, bronze, how it interacts with your skin, it turns your skin green. There is a coating on there to kind of keep it away from your skin. But if this was in bronze also, you would be definitely looking at your skin turning green. So that's typically why most bronze case watches do have a stainless steel case back here and not a bronze case back, just in case you were wondering. So let's go ahead and charge this one up, and let's take a look at the Superluminova and see how well it lights up under in the dark. Stand by. Okay, so there is the Superluminova. It looks very, very good. It glows very nice. You're going to get a decent amount of time. It will fade over time, probably 30, 45 minutes. But even in the middle of the night, there'll still be some left, but it will definitely not be glowing as bright as it is. You have the 12 o'clock pip is loomed, and the indices are loomed as well as the seconds hand, the GMT hand, and then both hour and minute hands. The only place there is no loom is next to the 3 o'clock window. So a lot of watches will have a little pip on the side there, but this one does not have at the 3 o'clock. The loom is very nice. No complaints there. You can never go wrong with Superluminova. I do like it. It is excellent, and I think it would do well over time. So as always, can't go wrong with that Swiss Superluminova. So let's go ahead and pop back in the lights. Let's get a wrist watch. Let's get a wrist check and see how it looks on a 6¼ inch wrist right now. Quick wristwatch check. I am currently wearing my Bulova Jetstar. I did a review on this one. I'll put that one down in the link. If you've seen that review, you'll notice it's on a different strap. This is a Colorab strap. These are handmade, hand-stitched in Italy. And it was referred to these by Urban Gentry. He wears a lot of these. I was having a hard time picking one up that would look good with this Bulova Jetstar in gold and the mustard fade to a kind of a brownish burgundy color on the dial. The one that it comes with is very nice, but it's not as soft and plush leather. And I found this one. I thought this would look great, and I've been wearing this one, and it looks really, really good. So definitely check out Colorab. They make some excellent straps if you're looking for some high quality, but not ridiculously expensive hand-stitched, handmade straps from Italy. This is one to check out. And definitely check out the review on the Bulova Jetstar. I absolutely love this watch. At 16 beats a second, that's why you get that extremely smooth sweeping hand because of that 260 hertz tuning fork quartz. Excellent, excellent watch. I will put the review down in the comments for everybody. Not the review. I'll put the link down in the comments so you can go take a look at that one if you want. So let's pop this off and let's hold up the other watch. Okay, there is the watch on my 6¼ inch wrist. You can see the lugs taper down nicely, even though they're 49. The taper on the lugs lets it sit nicely on my 6¼ inch wrist. My buddy's wrist is close to 8 inches, and it fits very nicely on his. At 42, it can fit a lot of wrist straps very, very nicely. It fits very comfortably. The leather strap is nice. I'm not buckling up because I don't want to mess up where he's got his set, so I'm just holding it on there. I think it looks really nice on the watch, very classy, very, very nice. So I would think that anybody who's in that 6.5 to 7.5, maybe a little bit larger than 7.5, is going to be just fine with this one. He does have a large wrist, and he can pull off 50 millimeter no problem, and this one does not look small in his wrist at all. It looks just right on mine. 40 to 43, 44 is about the sweet spot for my small wrist. So excellent, excellent watch. I don't think you can go wrong with this one. Probably the only ding I'm going to have on the watch is when you look on the website on Glycine and you look on Joma Shop's website, believe it or not, this is a green dial. It is a green if a light hits it just right. I'm trying to get the light to hit it just right. It is green, but when you look on the website, it is a much darker green. It's not a forest green, but it is definitely a noticeable green. But when you get the watch, it is not the green that is on the website. So I don't know if that's intentional by Glycine in Joma Shop, or that's just the issue that they have with the printing of the dial. But I just noticed that it's not as green as what they show on the website, which is kind of a letdown. They make one in blue. I think they have them in black and a couple of, I think there's like 4 colors, or maybe there's 3 colors, but the blue one's very nice. I wish that green dial was as green as it shows on the website, but other than that, I think it's an excellent watch. You know, it's Glycine, got the Swiss movement. You can't go wrong with this one. I think it's excellent. So without further ado, let's go back over the studio and give you my final thoughts on the Glycine Combat Sport GL0318. Okay, there you go, folks. There's a good in-depth look at the Glycine Combat Combat Sport. So if you're looking at a GMT watch, I would encourage you to go check this one out. If you're looking for something that's a little more, people would say a little more affordable, but you know what? I think you'd be shocked. If you go on Joma Shop, I think this watch is running $550, $595, which is really, really good. As I stated earlier, to get a combat sub 1000 in the past, it was going to be a quartz. It wasn't going to be an automatic movement. To get an automatic movement, you're going to be starting at about an entry point of about $1,500. With the Seiko, you're like right at 400. With this one, the combat sub Swiss movement, all Swiss build, you're right in that 550 under $600 range. And then the Eco Drive, I think you were right in the 450 range, which was in titanium, which is awesome. So I think if you're in the market for GMT, it seems like over the last few years, GMT has become a very popular watch. And for obvious reasons, it's nice to be able to track 2 time zones. It seems that we have families that live in different time zones. My buddy has family lives in the Midwest, so he can set it to Midwest time and then the current time here. And then I've got family that lives on the West Coast. So then I have all my GMTs set to West Coast time, and the GMT for the family, and then local time, obviously, here in Arizona. So it's nice to be able to track those 2 time zones. And then if you ever travel out of country or hell, if you travel to New York and you want to keep it on, on the East Coast, you want to keep it on West Coast time. GMT just seem to be becoming more and more popular, and more companies are coming out with their own versions of GMTs. So I would encourage you, if you don't have a GMT, put one in your collection. They're a great watch to have. They're fun to use. They're fun to do. If you're looking for simplicity, I would tell you to stick with the Collar Office GMT. But if you're wanting that true vibe, that real thing, then go with the Traveler GMT. It does make setting the time and the local time much easier, and you're not messing up the date as you move the hour hand around to set it to the local time. So without that, I want to thank everybody again for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Unfortunately, that's what drives the algorithm, and we keep trying to grow this channel, and we seem to be adding viewers every month. So you guys are liking the content. We're going to keep putting them out. We've got some great views coming in the future. We've got one on the Marathon Navigator. We've got one on some more Seikos on the lineup, some older models and some newer models. So we've got a lot lined up. We've got a lot of things to talk. And if there's some watches that you're thinking of you'd like us to review, put it down in the comments. I've got a lot of friends in the watch community that I can get watches from, high end, low end, mid range. So if you're looking for stuff like Mito or Oris or some other ones, Tissot, let me know. I'll see if I can get my hands on and do a review for you. Unfortunately, I can't just buy every watch out there. But if there's a watch you want a review on, let me know, and I'll see about getting my hands on it. I can get my hands on Omega Omega Seamasters, it's different ones. So let me know if there's something particular you'd like me to take a look at, and I'll see if I can get my hands on it. Get my hands on an Arnie. If you'd like a review of the Seiko Arnie, the most latest updated version of it, let me know. So I want to bring you the content you guys want to see. So thank you again for watching. I hope you all stay safe. You have a fabulous weekend. You have a great next week. Take care of each other. Be kind. And this whole combat, we'll see you next week. I'm diving into watches, and you know it. I'm out.